All right, guys, how's it going? So, for anyone that's tuning in now or in the future, I'm sure you have figured out by now that I don't usually use a script. I kind of just go off the dome, as they say. And today, I'd like to talk about something specific because last night I actually filmed a video that when I was editing it, when really I was just cutting off a very small smidgen of the ending of the video that I recorded. I ended up keeping the very last part and discarding with the with the whole video. So I'll just kind of talk about what I talked about yesterday to myself, and that is of the subject of reading, writing, and speech. I know many people that go through school, especially people that are in the middle of, let's say, freshman year, sophomore, people in high school, even the people in middle school, they kind of think, why are we required to take classes on things that we are never going to use in our lives? They say, why can't we just go to school for what we want to do? The truth is, most people don't know what they want to do. But what the classes that we take, the prerequisite classes that we take, what those do is they give us the tools to then figure out what we want to do, right? Because if you can read, then you can study anything you want. You can virtually learn anything you want to do in this life. That is such a blessing that I don't think enough people take advantage of. So that's where reading comes into play. You can understand shit. You can understand how to build things. You can understand psychology, architecture. Even though architecture is mainly math, there still needs to be a way to communicate that math through words and shit and ideas. Sorry for cussing. I like cussing when it makes sense, not just because. But yeah, reading's freaking important. And then writing. Writing is the way that we can communicate with people without being there. It's a way to communicate on paper or on screen with words. It's a way to transfer ideas from one mind to another. Have someone else read them. Granted, when you read a book, I know that when someone reads a book, the pictures that pop into people's mind to create the picture that the words are creating, I know that they're different from person to person. But the message usually is the same. The author is trying to portray a certain message, and it wouldn't get out unless he knew how to write it. And let's say he doesn't know how to write. Let's say all he knows how to do is speak. That's still really, really important, isn't it? Because I would say at the very least, everyone should know how to read, how to write, and how to speak, and how to do basic math. By basic math, I mean PEMDAS. And that's, just regular order of operations. Algebra is useful. See, here's the thing. Anything that you dive into, the more complicated that you get into it, the more you can use it for. The more profound the results you get are. Same thing with reading, writing, and speech. If you know how to think, read, and write, Jordan Peterson says that is, that makes you lethal, and you can pretty much do anything with those skills, with the skills of reading, writing, and speaking. That's one thing I'd like to develop for myself. I'd like to learn how to speak to people, how to enunciate a lot better. The basis of getting ahead in life is learning how to communicate your thoughts, the thoughts that you have in your mind, processing those in such a way that is easy to transfer, because we're all complicated beings, right? We think very complicated thoughts. We have complicated emotions. We all have very distinctive experiences. And our way of communicating that to people, transferring, traducing those things to people is just, it gets increasingly hard the more complicated our ideas are. So it becomes it becomes increasingly important to know how to think, how to read, how to write, how to speak, how to talk to people. And people that get paid a lot, it seems, know how to speak in big crowds. They can speak to a large crowd. And One thing that has stuck with me from one of the Jordan Peterson lectures, which if you guys look up on YouTube, they're absolutely awesome. This guy is whether you love him or hate him, you cannot deny the fact that this man is very educated. He knows how to express himself very well. One of the things he said is that when you're speaking to a crowd, when you're speaking to a crowd of people, yes, there are many individuals in that crowd. So speak to the individuals in the crowd. Don't speak to the whole crowd, because then you're not really reaching out to anybody. When you can kind of have a conversation with the crowd, what you're saying becomes a lot more resonant. You're not just wasting your breath, because let's face it, life is freaking short. We want to be effective as much as we can. We want to be efficient, effective, so that we can get where we want to go. That's another point I made in my video yesterday that I didn't get across to you guys, that I didn't get to submit because I didn't save it. Fuck, I just lost my train of thought. Sorry. What was it? I've quoted Jim Rohn a couple times in my videos, but really thinking of Bob Proctor. That's who I've been meaning to talk about. So if you look back at my old videos or recent videos, I should say, I haven't been on here very long. Look at the recent videos and look at certain quotes I made. Some of you might have caught it. I've quoted Bob Proctor and credited Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn is awesome too, but most of the stuff that I know of off the top of my head seems to be things that I remember Bob Proctor saying. And one of those was him saying in one of his lectures that the issue is and this is when he's talking about, programming the mind, getting to where we all want to go. Everyone has a goal. Whether it's written down or really, everyone has at least some sort of loose conception of where they'd like to be in life, who they would want to be, what they want in their life, what they would like to achieve. Everyone has, at the very least, a very loose conception of the emotions, the feelings, and the effects that they would like to carry out with themselves before they die. And Bob Proctor says, the problem is not that we don't know what to do. The problem is because we know what to do. The issue is we're not doing what we know what to do. So if we spend our whole lives, right, listening to the opinions and ways of others and without questioning it and just agreeing to fit in and survive, then we automatically just take on the roles and aspirations that other people have without stopping to think, hey, what the fuck do I want? I think the sooner you realize that, the sooner it hits home in an exciting way that you're not here forever. That, hey, if you're going to do something, you better do it soon. And you better do it fast. You better you have nothing to lose. You're going to lose your life. When we die, we cannot take anything with us. It's not even the mark you've made. It's who are you to yourself? Were you honest with yourself? Were you truthful? Did you express yourself? Did you go after the things that you cared about? Did you tell people how you felt about them? And I don't mean telling people that they're pieces of shit, because we can all be POSs. But I think the best thing is to tell people when you see something good in them, to absolutely tell them. Why wouldn't you? Why are people so quick to say, oh, he's so positive. Oh, he's just putting on a mask. It's just a facade. He's really just dead inside. That's one. I'm kind of exaggerating, and it's definitely anecdotal what I just said, because in my own life, when I've been at work and I say things, I'll be that guy that just out of nowhere will say something like, man, life is good. And whether I mean it or not, it's not up to you to decide whether I should say it or not. Why wouldn't you just absolutely just encourage that? Encourage me to say that. I know someone in particular who tells me, dude, you're so full of shit. Why would you, I know that You don't really feel that way. You're probably having the worst day ever. That's why you're just trying to convince yourself otherwise. And here's the thing. When I say it, it's because I mean it. I like to be truthful. Whether it's me or someone else being truthful to me, I like honesty. I put truth at the very highest of my goals, right? I want truth all around me. So when I say something like that, I do believe it. I sometimes have a bit of a monotone voice. That's one thing I'm trying to work on as well. But anyways, when I say that, I absolutely mean it. And here's the thing, why are people so quick to nag someone about that? Why not say, when someone's complaining and putting, being ungrateful and putting dirt on the day, just pointing out every negative in the day, people don't say, hey, you're just trying to cover up the blessings in your life. Why don't we say that? Why is our default mode fear? Why is our default mode fear-based thoughts? Because we don't know what we want. We haven't been clear enough with ourselves to say, hey, this is where I want to go. This is not where I want to be. In fact, this is exactly where I would hate to be. This is the life that I would design if I were trying to create my own version of hell. And here's the thing. Most people, when they don't have a goal, they automatically somehow default to thinking, saying, and doing things that lead them to the opposite side of where they want to be on the spectrum of life, of what joy and happiness is, right? We're all here to create our own bit of the pie. We want our own slice, but the thing is, we have to bake it first. We have to bake our own pie. It doesn't just come out with a slice ready to take. No, we need to come up with our own ingredients for it, right? Kind of throw in the dough, put in the main ingredients, put in the cherries, whatever you guys like, apple pie, pumpkin spice pie, I don't know. But man, I'm just fed up with fear being the default mode in most day-to-day interactions. And this is changing now because it feels, I'm definitely 100% convinced that I am changing my own paradigm. So it's happening a lot less. And when you raise your vibration, you naturally say no to the bullshit and say hello to the good shit. And man, I feel so blessed these days. And I want to get this stuff out there because I know that we all have a truth that we want to speak out. And when something comes to you in your mind and your heart and your soul, and you feel like, oh my God, oh my goodness, this is just, I feel so renewed and fortified. I wish everybody knew about this. You need to tell everyone about it. Tell as many people as you can. But do it in such a way that it's not going to curse what you have going on. Because as helpful as this is here, there's not very many people that know that I come out and I do this, to be exact. This platform makes it easy for me to be honest because I don't know any of you guys. Anyone that's tuning in now or in the future, I do not know anyone that's watching this. My goal here is to better myself, and hopefully from the intuitions and the ideas that I get, hopefully somebody finds that it resonates with them. Because I'm not on here to talk about anything that I don't fully believe in. And I just find it so sad when the people closest to me, right, like family, I find it so sad when their default mode is anger, resentment, blame, victimhood. All these things, they're so toxic to ourselves. We don't realize it. We don't seem to realize that what we see in others, the energy that we try to impose or give onto someone else, we feel it first. It comes from us. It's something that's within you. That's why it's so important, guys. It's so important to create a vision. Create that feeling. Let it flood your emotions, your heart, your body, your mind, your soul. Let it infect every part of you so that anyone that comes into contact with you knows exactly who you are. We're vibrational beings. I preach at work to everybody, a gallon a day. It's great for your health in general. You need it for digestion. It's good for your brain, neurologically speaking, right? Hormonal, every function that your body uses. There's a reason that we're mostly water, right? Or what are we, 90% water? Who knows? All I know is the fact that people say is that we're made up mostly of water, yet nobody really seems to be taking that seriously. Think about it. Water vibrates very easily. So any vibrations, whether it's the music you listen to, everything is vibration. Vibration is energy. It's waves, right? It's when you feel an emotion, and I know you guys know this, when let's say you're on top of the world, you're just being flooded with good emotions, dopamine, serotonin is just flooding your brain, your heart. And it's all in here. You just feel it. You feel good. You don't feel stagnant. You don't feel like stagnant water, just flat. You don't like this. You're like, oh, you feel alive. You feel like there's something within you that's like apart from you. It feels like it's just coming from somewhere else. That's God to me. Lean into that. Lean into those feelings. Going back to what Bob Proctor said, it's not that we don't know what to do. We do know what to do. We're not doing what we know what to do. So imagine if you did all of the things that led you here, your goal, your ultimate goal. Make it as big and broad as you want. Because the bigger it is, the more excited you get about it. Why play it small? You're not going to play hard for something that isn't worth striving for. Create the biggest vision that you can and work every day to create gratitude for it as if you've already had it. I know it sounds so cliche, but man, sometime it's going to click. If it hasn't clicked for you, it's going to click at some point. That that all the energy is now. It's right here. Oh man, you got to take advantage of the blessing that we have to even be able to breathe in this air, to think, and then act upon our thoughts. What a blessing is it that we have the free will to think of what we want and then take the according steps to learn how to get there and then take action. Gosh, there's just so much here. There's so much here for us. There is so much here, and it's just awesome. It's just... when you just take a moment to take it all in, man, it just all clicks. At some point, I really encourage anyone who is watching this to get into the habit. At least dip your toes into the idea that you can write down the thoughts that you would like to have. Think of all the best thoughts that you could have, right? Think of those. If you didn't have to be who you are now, who would you be? Who would you choose to be? Think about it a little bit. Write it down. I am blank, blank, blank. Or I do blank, blank, blank. Am I making sense? And then, when you make it a habit to read it out loud to yourself, so that you're speaking, thinking, and reading and listening. The vibration of those thoughts will bring it to pass. If you're consistent enough, you will start to see the end of the tunnel. And the brighter that light gets, you know you're getting somewhere. You know that you're headed in the right direction and that what you're doing is working. God bless. You guys have a good night. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in.